Good afternoon. I have a question for you. How many times in your travels to the store, in the neighborhood, the next city, or around the world, have you encountered a couple having fun, holding hands, loving on one another, even expressing public affection, and they happen to be an interracial couple? It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Well, today I want to talk to you about that very subject, multicultural, intercultural relationships. Yes, I think it's a beautiful thing. My name is Bill Howard. I'm a life coach, certified professional life coach. My clients are young and old, anyone who wants to do better. I operate from my business, which is titled Be a Better You, Baby. Well, let's get into this topic. I know you'll find it interesting, although it's an unpopular subject. It's one that if we undertake and unpack, we'll all be better for it. We can better build a better community. We can improve uh, relations in the workplace, in our family, and most importantly, we'll be obeying God because He said in His Word, "Love ye one another," and He did not say that you should be selective because He said He did say He is not a respecter of person. Yes, be selective. You have to vet people. However, I interpret in His Word that He was not saying that you should stick with your own community, that you should stick with your own type, your own tribe, as some people put it. Well, here's how we're going to unpack it. My friends, there are certain things that I've recognized over the years in my upbringing. I've had to deal with some traumas myself. And my encouragement here is that we all deal with these traumas so we can live in a better world. We can make this a better place. And my encouragement also is that you dive deep into your own character. That way you'll be a better you. That has been my approach since I was given this idea of starting this business. So let's proceed to unpack it. First, we've got to face our fears. Yes, we all have fears. Some will call them precautions. I call them fears. False evidence appearing real. And our first fear is not being loved or accepted. Yeah, we're in denial. I was in denial for several years, so I'm no different from you. And I encourage you to ask yourself, why am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Well, we won't go into all the detail here, but in a series of videos, we'll attack those fears. Another thing is we've got to remember our early childhood, whether we like it or not, presented certain traumas that we have to deal with. Our teenage years, peer pressure. We also had adult trauma that we've got to deal with. Yes, adult trauma, situations that we run into, friends that we've observed going through certain changes. We may not have noticed that it didn't matter what they looked like. We all deal with the same traumas. We are one, and we have to look at life that way. I encourage you to take that approach. If we're going to be in obedience to God, who said that the sources of fear are something that He can overcome, Because he did not give you the spirit of fear. 2 Timothy says that God did not give you a spirit of fear. So where's this fear coming from? All right, we'll get into that in more detail. There's a solution. There's a solution, folks. And it starts with us. It starts with me. It starts with you. It takes meditation sometimes. But I'd even go so far as to say it's just a matter of making a decision that you're going to love everybody. I know some of my listeners are saying, sure, Bill. Yeah, you say this, but it's hard to love everybody. Yes, it is. Admittedly, I'm not that unicorn that says that, there's no emotion involved in dealing with others. But we do have control of our own minds. We want to be careful, though, not to be a chameleon. The chameleon type is a person who takes on the character of others just to get past that situation, past that conversation. And it comes off as phony. So we don't want to be phony. I know nobody wants to be called a phony. So, yeah, hear me out on this. We have some traumas to deal with. And one of my traumas was racism early in my life. I dealt with that through the military. That's just an example. But we have other things that we got to be concerned about, and that's everyone's need for acceptance, security. We have to deal with our own self-love because we're to love others as ourselves. How can I love you if I cannot love myself? So as many life coaches have encouraged us to do, we need to discover self-love. Once we can wrap our minds around what it means to love ourselves, then we can share that with others. Then we can see clearly through this fear that we have of dealing with someone from a different culture. And it starts in that self-love with understanding that someone had to love you, starting with your mother. Thank God for your mother, by the way. Let's love on our mothers. Let's encourage those around us to take that first step, because our very existence says that someone loved us. Once we start with that, it'll be much easier for us to proceed to love others. In this series of videos, I am going to share with you, mostly from how I dealt with this issue in order to survive in the corporate world, in order to commit to some 30 years of military service. I had to love on others. And in the meantime, God was working on my heart. I challenge you to let God work on your heart. Let him help you to see where your trauma is. Certainly we have them. I also would like to introduce blind spots. We won't get into that now, but blind spots is mostly where I found my fears. Things I didn't know, things I thought I knew. So my friend, this is just my introductory video. I'm looking so forward to speak to you again, and we're going to dive deep into the subject of multicultural, intercultural, interracial relationships. Although it's an unpopular subject, it's a beautiful topic because it frees us up from so many things that keeps us from exploring the world and sharing with others the love that God has put in our hearts. God bless you. See you in the next video. Love you all.